Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Bookworm Diaries. So today I'm just gonna review two books. I've never done that before, but today, because I've read a lot of books that I haven't reviewed, so I thought let me just um, kill two birds with one stone. So today I'm reviewing two books, two books from my favorite people. Favorite. Like when I say favorite, I mean favorite. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to discuss today is from the one and only Will Smith. The book is called Will. Right. So first of all, just like let's not talk about my relationship with the Smiths. I love them and I love them individually. I love Jada as a person. I love Will. So it has taken me some time to actually read this book until a friend of mine gave it to me, and I was like, ah, I know you like these people, so here you go. And let me tell you why it took me so long to actually read this book. I thought, what's new? Like literally, I've these people are all over the media. What am I gonna learn? Or like I felt like I know these people. I know this guy. I know his work. And but let me tell you, after reading this book is 419 pages. And by the time I was done, I think it took me a couple of days to finish this book. I wished it wasn't the end. Like I still felt like, man, no, there's so much more to this guy. But yeah, let's go back. I thought I knew about him because of all the stories that are on in media, but yeah, I knew nothing. Like I knew bits and pieces. That's why I thought, okay, let me not read it. But when I started reading this book, firstly, he just talks about, like, when you see celebrities and you know what movies they're on, or you know what shows they're on, you think, ah, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So he talks about before he started acting on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what he was doing before, how he grew up. Like I literally, like, I didn't know a lot of things about him. I didn't know that he was from um, a very his father was very abusive towards his mom, and basically he was just explaining that he grew up as a scared child because he was just always scared of his father. Was very strict, he was very military, like he made them work and he used to beat his mom. And I didn't know that about him. So um I got to learn a lot of things about him that I literally was like, okay, I didn't know this. And it sort of made sense. So because his family was broken, he had this thing that he wants a perfect family for himself. He'd always wanted like a wife and children. He wanted to provide. He wanted to be everything that his father was not. He wanted to shower them with love. And it sort of makes sense when you think about all these things that are happening now in the media, and all these things that are happening with his own family, because he wanted to give his family like this love. You can't One thing that I've realized as parents, right? So we have our own dreams. Like, this is what I want for my family, and this is what I want for my children. But we forget that they're humans too. They will want to have their own dreams. They will want to be loved a certain way. They would love, but we are just so overbearing. So I think that's exactly what Will and his family are going through. He had his own vision of what his family needs to be, and he's a hard worker, but you can't force people, your children or your wife or whatever, to be that way. So enough about that. I loved this book. I literally, oh man. One thing I love about Will, he works hard. Like his work ethic is on point. This guy, he just doesn't know when to stop. He won't stop, and I love that attitude. Like his work ethic. Um, it was funny, man. You know when you're reading and you're like you're reading at night and your family is sleeping, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you wish you were there. That's how interesting this book is. But I loved it. I love it. I love it, and I think anyone that reads this book will actually love it. Sometimes you just gotta forget about what everyone else is saying and just read. But mostly me, I don't listen to gossip. I don't, you know, when I see a story about a couple on socials and whatever, like for me, I'd be thinking, okay, there's this story, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. If that person can come and say, this is what happened, I will always listen to that story. So that's just me. And that's why I loved this book, because he tells it in his own words, and you can actually, you know, when you read, you can actually hear his voice and the humor. I've loved him since Fresh Prince, and after reading the book, because there's, I think I thought I had seen all of his movies until I read, and I was like, oh, okay. After I finished the book, I went onto my laptop and I started watching all his movies. Now I have this thing, because he talks about what was happening behind the scenes of this movie, of this movie, of this movie. Now I just have this, oh, okay, this is what he was talking about. Oh, this is what he was talking about. I just went and watched all his movies, and then at the end he talks about this jump that he did for his 50th birthday. It is on YouTube if you want to see it. I went and watched it and I was just like, amazing, amazing. I loved it. I gave it a 10 out of 10. He doesn't talk about the club. He talks about his marriage. I think if you really want to know what's going on in his marriage, instead of listening to the media, go read his book. You'll understand why he's the way that he is. And I really can't wait to actually read Jada's book as well. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so number 2. I told you I'm reviewing 2 of my favorite people. Now, the next one is by Kerry Washington, Thicker Than Water. Let me tell you, like, this book, we're in December 2023 now, and I think she announced that she's releasing a book early this year, beginning of the year, probably in January. And I was like, yes, this is one book that I've been waiting for. Okay, so to give you a bit of a background of my relationship, give you a bit of a background with my history with Kerry Washington. So I absolutely love her work. I think I knew a few of her movies before, but I wasn't really a fan until Scandal. There I was like, yeah, this is my girl. I love her. And I've been following, like, if there's an interview on YouTube of Kerry Washington that I don't know, like, honestly, I've watched all of her interviews. I follow her work. I absolutely believe in a lot of things that she believes in. So yeah, so when I found out that she is releasing a book, I was like, yes, I've been rewatching Scandal, just, you know, but when she said she is releasing a book, I was just patiently waiting. Fine. So the whole year I've been waiting for a book until it came out in September. And so normally I will not go and buy a book immediately when it's released. I'll wait a bit, wait for the hype to die down. But this one was just like on my list. I was like, I can't wait. I want to go and buy this book. So I got it as a birthday gift, and I dug in. Let me just say that I, I enjoyed it because I love her. But you can see that when reading this book, you can see that it, writing this book wasn't her idea. It wasn't something that she wanted to do. When I follow her stories, because I've watched all interviews where she was doing book tours and stuff, she says that she didn't no, what does she say? She was approached by someone to, after her scandal finished, after scandal ended, she was approached to write a book about, what happens after Olivia Pope, or life after Olivia Pope and whatever. But she just couldn't write it because I think she was going through a personal stuff, which she later reveals in her book what that personal stuff was. So you can sort of see that this person didn't want to write this book because she doesn't bear her soul. I was really honestly, because I follow her career, I thought I would learn like a lot of a lot about her personal life, because she doesn't talk about her personal life on social media. She doesn't talk about her children. She doesn't talk about her marriage, which is good. I mean, because socials can be, gruesome. I understand that part. But if you are going to write a book about yourself and not give us all the details, I was just like, I mean, I felt cheated. I was expecting for her to talk about friendships on a scandal, her friendships outside of work, not to really like, unless you focus on them, but there's things that you can't talk about your life and not talk about, and I feel like she did that. She wrote a book, and she mostly spoke about her parents. And she found out that her dad, she's very close to her father. I mean, I follow her on socials, and they're always taking videos together, and so she found out, after she finished shooting Scandal, she found out that her dad that raised her is not her biological dad, and that like literally shook her life and turned her life upside down. And then she started thinking about how she's an only child. Then she started thinking about how this secret, because the parents kept it out from her. So then obviously it was tense, and at home she could always pick up that there's something that they're not telling her, but she didn't know what it was. And she felt like maybe she's, I don't know. So then I thought, as parents also, we always make decisions and we think we're doing what's best for our children, but um at a later stage we then only for our children to just resent us because of that secret that we kept from them. So that's exactly what happened with Kerry. Mostly in the book, she talks about her relationship with her parents. She was not close with her parents, and when she thinks back as to why she was not close with her parents, is because they were lying to her. So they couldn't really be friends with her, because it will end up coming out that this is what we've been hiding from you. So she just goes through her journey, and she couldn't fit in. Then she talks about her work and stuff, which I already knew a lot about, because I'm obsessed with her. Like, I follow anything that Kerry Washington does, I watch, So I already knew a lot of things about her. So, like, I'm just gonna reference to, she talks about she had an abortion, but I feel like, okay, fine, you are telling us that you had an abortion, but when I compare her book to Viola's book, Viola also had an abortion, but she takes you through steps. She went to approach her boyfriend. This is Viola now. She went to approach her boyfriend to tell the boyfriend that she's pregnant, and the boyfriend rejected her, and she was going through so much that she ended up aborting the child. But Kerry Washington speaks about this. She had an abortion, but there's no history, there's no path. We don't follow a trail as to why did you have an abortion. And, you know, she doesn't owe us anything, but I feel like if you are going to put that in the book, at least give us the steps, man. Let us feel your pain. Let us feel reason as to why you did it. So I'm just talking about stuff like that she would just mention things lightly, and you're like, okay, girl, I'm waiting for juices here. I'm hungry. I want to know. This is stuff that I've been waiting for the whole year, but it just doesn't come up. And like, for an example, I think she doesn't even mention Tony Goldwyn in the book, which is so weird because I know they are very close. Maybe she didn't want to, I don't know. I really don't know what she didn't want to do, but I expected a chapter at least about how they met, because their chemistry and their bestest of friends. So I expected something, man, something. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but like, it wasn't what I expected. I really wanted her to tell all, tell all, tell all, which is maybe unfair of me. Like, this was her way of writing, which is good for her. But me, I was expecting juices. I wanted details. I wanted to feel her, because every time she talks, I'm just like, girl, I'm there. I am so there. But this book didn't give me what I was looking for, especially, I think, because maybe it's my fault. I had expectations. When you like, this is my girl, I know. That's why it's always so nice to pick up a book where you have no expectations. You're just like, oh, okay, I need something to read. Let me read this. You don't know what to expect. You're just surprised by everything. But this one, because she's my girl, she's my favorite, she's my imaginary bestie. Like, she is it. So I was just like, you know what? I expecting nothing but the best, because everything that she touches, it turns to gold. I was expecting that, but you can see, Njogotsi, she doesn't want to talk about her personal life. She still doesn't want to talk about her personal life, despite the fact that she has this book. So I hope that one day, maybe 10, 20 years time, she can touch on those things that she didn't touch on. I still have hope. But yeah, that's it. So out of these two books, obviously Will's book was my favorite. Will, I can't fault it. Like, you can't put it, like, once you start paging, you cannot put it down. You can't. It's like literally impossible, But Carrie's, I think I read it for like 2 weeks, and this Carrie's book is, I think I saw when I got it, I was like, it's 310 pages. I was like, Aibo, how is a book that I've been waiting for the whole year 310 pages? How is that even possible? What are you saying in 310 pages? That was the first red flag. But I thought, but the whole time I was reading it, I felt like there must be more, girl. Like them, like I wanted more. I felt like you were just scraping the surface. Like you didn't go deeper, Papa. You didn't go deep. But still love her. I will still support her TV shows. I will still. I give it a 6, 5 out of 10. Actually, 5 out of 10. But thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, my name is Lindy and this is Bookworm Diaries. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time.